Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, I'm going to paint a pair of lips using acrylic paint. In this video, I'm just going to share my tips and techniques that I have followed in order to paint a realistic looking lips using acrylic paint. So if you are interested in learning acrylic painting in realistic manner, then I hope through this video you will be able to learn some different aspects and unknown facts about acrylic painting and the approach of painting in acrylic. So hopefully this video will be beneficial for you in terms of learning something new about acrylic painting and how to approach a painting. So stay tuned and watch the full video. Now at this stage you can see that I'm just trying to develop a base tone for this lips, and at this stage I'm just not considering the exactness of the colors and the brush strokes whatever I am putting on the paper. I'm just trying to fill the surface of the paper with a color tone so that I can work over it in the later stage in order to develop the fine little details. At this stage I'm not considering the detailed strokes and the detailed marks on the lips, and not even I'm considering to paint these areas like a lips. I'm just considering it as a block of surface area where I need to put some color, and this is how simple I'm just considering it, and you should also be approaching in the same manner. Now at this stage you can see that I have just started to paint some strokes which resembles the texture of the lips, and this is very important guys. In realistic painting we just need to paint the right texture in order to capture the likeliness of the surface. See, without texture you cannot actually define the characteristic of a subject. For an example, if you are painting the tree barks, then you have to paint the tree barks with its texture, otherwise it will look very plain and look like very caricature type, which we obviously don't want in realistic painting. In realistic painting we just want that surface area to feel like that particular object. In this case, as I am painting the lips, so the area where I am just working right now is made up of tissues and skin. So this is how we have to approach that, knowing the composition of that particular subject we have to approach our painting. Now you can see that I have made different brush strokes with different variations of colors. In this area the colors that I have used mostly is burnt sienna mixed with a bit of compose yellow and yellow ochre, and I have also used crimson lake mixed with white in order to tint down the color, and I have also used a color which is like vermilion. Actually I have prepared these colors by mixing Prussian blue with a bit of crimson lake. So at this stage you can see that I'm just trying to build and capture that likeliness of the skin tone in that area, and I have used multiple colors in order to capture the likeliness of that area. See guys, in nature nothing is composed of only one color. If you just look very precisely at a leaf, then you will find that the leaf is not actually plain green. It has some variations of green and some other reflected and refracted color as well. So it is very important to understand color mixing theory and understanding the impact of colors on a particular subject. Only then you will be able to capture the look of that particular subject. See guys, in realistic painting we just try to create illusions. We just try to create visual illusions on a two-dimensional surface. So if you are just trying to paint very realistically, then understanding these things becomes very important. Otherwise you will work a lot, but you will not be able to satisfy yourself and your own self-esteem with your end result, because it is not only about copying whatever you are seeing, it is more about understanding your subject and working accordingly. Now at this stage you can see that the upper lip is almost done. I'm not considering this as completely done, as I will come back to this once I will end up working on the other areas. Now I have just started to work on the area below the upper lip, and this area has some darker values, and the color that I have used in order to paint this area is actually burnt sienna mixed with Prussian blue in order to create burnt umber, and the black color that you can see is actually not a pure black, that is pure ivory black. Rather I have mixed a bit of sap green and Prussian blue mixed with a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of black in order to create that blackish color. I generally don't use pure black in any areas because I think that not a single area is completely black. It has some other colors as well. It's up to you whether you can find those colors and implement it on your painting or not. Now I'm just trying to build some basic texture on the lower lips. As you can see on the finished painting that I have kept on the upper right corner for my reference and for your reference to be precise, so that you can relate with whatever I am painting and where I have to reach. You can see that the lower lip has a lot of variations and textures. So understanding that particular thing and building it layer by layer is very important. Now you can see that at this stage as well, I'm just not very much concerned about each individual marks and the strokes which I have to paint in order to create that likeliness. I'm still using a flat brush very loosely in order to build some texture in this area, and I'm just leaving the fine little details for the later stage. Now at this stage you can see that I have just started to paint some little details and some variation of colors that is actually merging with that darker tone underneath the upper lips. At this stage you can see that I'm just trying to paint some highlighted areas. The colors that I have used in this area is actually a mixture of Crimson Lake mixed with a bit of orange and a lot of white in order to tint down the color. And you can see that this is very important because it is creating an illusion of three dimension. See, there is dark tone, there is light tone, and there is mid tone. So these three tonal variations are very important in order to create something realistic. Otherwise you will end up with something very flat and, as I mentioned earlier, something that will look very caricature type. If you were interested to achieve that likeliness of three-dimensional illusion of realness, then you have to capture that three variations in the colors, that is the light tone, the dark tone, and the mid tones. So as you can see that I'm also trying to match the colors in this stage. I'm just using some orange tint mixed with a bit of Prussian blue and Crimson Lake in order to paint certain areas. In certain areas I have also used a bit of Compose yellow in order to make that area a bit warmer. Now you can see that how I'm just using a round brush in order to blend all these colors together, because I just don't want to keep everything very impressionistic, otherwise it will look very rough and the realness, the illusion of the realness rather, will not be established. So this is very important to blend the colors and also to leave the hard edges. See guys, sometimes when I say you have to build the texture, people think that the texture means that only you have to keep rough edges and this gives the sensation of texture, but it is not the definition of texture guys. Something very smooth can have texture as well. If you look very closely, a glass has also a texture, a very smooth kind of texture, and that's what we call the texture of the glass. So texture doesn't mean that you have to have very rough edges. In nature, everything exists in two forms, in the form of rough edges and in the form of smooth edges. So if there is a balance between both of them, then you will find that illusion of three-dimensionality in your subject. So keeping that in mind is very important. Now you can see that I'm just trying to paint some areas with a bit of reddish tint in order to make that area look more vibrant, and this is very important. All these small factors actually contribute towards a realistic looking painting. If you have made to this section of the video, then you will be finding that this video is actually a bit different than my other videos. To be precise, my voiceover is actually different. In this video, I'm just not providing a commentary of whatever I'm just painting. Rather, I'm just trying to give you an overall idea very spontaneously. So sometimes I may fumble and I may just lag a few words. So if it happens, then please forgive me guys. I hope this will get better with time. Now at this stage you can see that I'm just trying to build some darker texture in this area, and this is also very important. All these small details may look useless to you guys because if you just look at this pair of lips from a far distance, you will not be able to look all these small details. But as we are considering these lips to be close up in our painting, and we are just providing all our efforts to this particular area only, and I'm just making a study of the whole lips, all this texture and the movement of the lips, then it is very important that we just give credit to all those small details because they actually consolidate the whole surface area, and it actually makes the look of the skin very organic and realistic. If you just remove all this small texture from the scene, you will find that it's still looking like a very cartoonish or illustrative in nature rather than looking more organic and lifelike. So I'm just putting another layer of darker tone on the area below the upper lip in order to define that cast shadow. Now at this stage I am just working on the area surrounding the lips. I have not added any real-time footage for this area because I just thought that this area is not as important as the lips, because my concern was to study the lips and I just focused mostly to study the lips in a very realistic manner. So I just painted the surface area, or rather the skin around the lips, very loosely, though I just tried to make it look believable and like the skin. Now at this stage this painting is almost done. Thanks a lot for your time guys. See you all in my next video. Till then, take care and happy painting.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to support my work, then please do like, comment and share my works, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon, which is very important so that you get notified as soon as I post a new video.